Welcome back to Season 6 of the Changing Earth podcast with author Sara F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hi, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. I'm happy to have you back with us. We're happy to have you back with us today. Well, I don't know. Are you happy about that, Jen?
Sure. Nobody's hit me up with nasty grams on the email, so I love having them.
There you go. So this is episode number 208, season 6, episode 8. We got some good show for you today.
Man, I am still shaking the dirt out of my hair from the rabbit holes I was chasing down.
Yeah, it's a fun read this week, and we're going to present a little bit of urban tracking afterwards and how that works, so we'll have to see how that plays in. Well, let's go ahead and get caught up a little bit first. How's the heat treating you there in South Carolina?
When you roll out of bed, walk outside, and you're sweating, it's ridiculously hot.
Yeah, the humidity, right?
Yeah, it's just hot. I mean, I had a neighbor, an older lady, who her air conditioner went out. So I'm like, oh, you poor thing. So I ran and got fans and helped her out there. And then another neighbor, this has like been the weekend of neighbors. Another neighbor, his screen rips. So he's like, typical person nowadays can't fix anything. So
can't figure it out.
Don't pay a handyman. I got a ladder in the garage. So nice. We got him all set up so there's no bugs coming into his screen porch. So
yeah, you just got to run down to the hardware and get some more screen.
Yeah, the hardest part was just putting the ladder up because it's on second story. But
right.
Yeah, so it's good to be Chin's neighbor. He'll help you out.
Chin will help you out. No problem. Yeah, we had a couple of hot days. The 4th was really nice. We went out to a big old lake with my buddies, and it was starting to warm up a little bit, and a couple days of hot, and then today it's like cooled down again, and we have clouds again. It's the trippiest weather ever, like in California, and it's July 7th when we're recording this, so it's a little odd. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not complaining either. I mean, I'll take it.
I saw some pictures. This was gorgeous out on that lake you were.
Yeah. Bullard's Bar, it's a huge reservoir up in the mountains towards Tahoe and the Tahoe National Forest. And another one of those man-made dams, but, it's beautiful out there. I didn't realize how big it was. You could go stand out under the waterfalls and stuff like that. So it's really neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, my shoulder was bothering me from training. So I went under the icy waterfall. It's all snow runoff, it's freezing. It felt great. But
like one of those water bucket challenges.
It is like that. Yeah, you could only stay there for a little while, but it's like the natural spa treatment. So, yeah, it was good times. Good times. But I bet your fireworks over there were way better than ours. Ours are pretty lame out here.
Oh my goodness! It's like I was talking with the wife. The neighborhood fireworks are like insane. They're like professional fireworks now. I don't know where they're buying this stuff, but it's in. Nice. I mean, literally, like what I used to see as a kid doesn't hold a candle to the stuff that they're shooting off in the neighborhoods nowadays.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
we have crappy, fireworks. Well, actually, over at my friend's house, he lives way out of the city, and I didn't know things like this still existed in California. They had like the kiddie ride that was the tractor pulling these trailers with like little plastic stools just bolted down to them and stuff. The kids are jumping on and off, and bounce houses set up, and then they had, we're not allowed to have the fireworks, so they sprayed down the whole field, and everybody donates fireworks to the fire department, and then they have like a controlled light off the fireworks. And I'm talking, these are like little tiny flowers, stuff like that. Nothing's allowed to shoot in the air at all. They're just fountains and stuff like that. It really sucks in California when it comes to 4th of July.
Oh, they have like it goes up and it explodes into like a flower pattern. Like, yeah. And then it has little like explosions off the tips of the flower. It's like crazy.
Yeah, could you imagine if those were legal here? We already had like 2 fires just because of idiots setting them off in the country. You know,
I
we'd have
don't
the
know.
whole state would be on fire.
Yeah, we were just glad it did rain on and off, so everything was kind of wet. So it
Nice.
was good because it does make me nervous that stuff floating around everybody's house. Because
Hmm.
literally they're setting it off in the street.
Yeah, the big exploding ones. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I haven't seen stuff like that in days. I'm gonna have to definitely come back to the Midwest for a 4th one time now.
Yeah.
Missing out. Alrighty, well, in the book last week we were with Vince and they were going into the bar and they met with Melvin and all that stuff. So that's awesome. Oh, I can't say that now. I was gonna say it because I've been working on my next book, so you have to see what happens with all that later on. Just can't go there right now. But anyway, they did all that.
Tough being you.
What?
It's tough being you.
I know. I'm like, I want to share all this stuff with you guys. Oh no, I can't do that yet. Oh, darn it. um, but this week we're catching back up with Dexter's story. And Dexter has some interesting going on, so we should just get into it, and that way we can share everything after. No opinion?
Oh, I thought it was my time to be quiet. I was trying to behave myself.
Nice.
I know how
All right.
hard it is to edit stuff. I'm like, I don't want to like talk and make her edit more stuff.
Oh, it was beautiful last week. But anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into chapter 8 of The Endless Night. Chapter 8, the afternoon of September 17th. Hey kid, you okay? Dexter heard a man ask as he slumped in the chains he was still hooked to. No, Dexter replied, perturbed with the question. What about this does he think is okay, Dex wondered. He heard the door unlock and open. A small-statured man with a muscular build ducked his chain and stood in front of him. It was the guy Yuri called Jeremy. You gonna fight me, kid? Jeremy asked. No, Dexter responded. Are you sure? Jeremy asked, smacking him lightly and repeatedly across the face. No. Ow! Stop, Dexter told him, shaking his head. Swenson said you were one hell of a fighter, Jeremy replied. He looked to be no more than 25 years old. Why would I do that? To give you an excuse to beat on me more? Dexter asked. Swenson called you Dexter. Is that your name? He asked. Dexter figured the jig was already up anyway. Yes, he replied. Name's Jeremy, the man told him, producing a keychain from his belt. Sure you're not going to fight me? I won't, Jeremy, I promise, Dex said. I just want these chains off my arms. Jeremy unhooked his arms and Dexter fell into a slump on the floor. Damn, that shit hurts, Dexter moaned on his hands and knees. Don't it? Jeremy asked. Dexter looked up, curious what he was referring to, as Jeremy lifted the back of his shirt, revealing the letters TJ whipped into it. It'll pass, Jeremy assured him, gently guiding Dexter onto the cot by his arm. Don't lay down on your back for a while, Jeremy warned him. What did you do to end up here, he wondered. Before Dexter could answer, Yuri came storming down the hall. Why is this door open? He yelled. I don't know, sir, Dexter heard a voice reply. Oh, crap, Jeremy stammered, standing up quickly. What are you doing in here? Yuri demanded as he entered the room and saw Jeremy. Swenson told me not to take my eyes off him, sir, Jeremy noted. Why is he out of the chains? Yuri asked. He's hurting, sir, Jeremy explained. He's not going anywhere. I don't care if he's whining, Jeremy. Did we take you down when you were crying like a baby? Yuri asked him. No, sir, Jeremy answered. Put him back in the chains, Yuri ordered him. Please don't, sir, Dexter pleaded. You think you're going to play my heartstrings, boy? I know the stock you come from, and I know you've been trained to fight all your life. There will be no chance of escape, so get it out of your head now, Yuri raged over the top of him. Dexter just lay there, contemplating his next move. Your back hurts? Yuri asked softly, bending down next to him. Yes, sir, Dexter replied. How about now? Yuri asked, sticking a finger into the gash. Dexter bolted up from the cot in a fighting stance, the pain fueling his adrenaline. See, Jeremy, it runs in the family. He's not to be trusted. Do you hear me? Yuri barked. Yes, sir, Jeremy answered. Put him back in the chains, Yuri demanded. Yes, sir, Jeremy replied. He went and gripped Dexter's arm, leading him back to the wall, except this time he chained Dexter so he could look into the room and out the window. Don't try your tricks with me, boy, Yuri hissed, punching Dexter across the mouth. He turned on Jeremy. You think you run the show, grunt? Yuri asked him. No, Yuri, you know I don't, Jeremy shrunk from him. That's right, you don't, Yuri replied, punching him across the face. Jeremy fell to the ground. You don't do anything with this prisoner unless I tell you, Yuri barked, kicking him in the stomach. Let the pain be a reminder. Yes, sir, Jeremy huffed. Stand up, grunt, Yuri insisted. Jeremy stood before him, ready to get hit again. Now get the hell out of here, Yuri commanded. Yes, sir, Jeremy said, hustling out the door. He stopped at the doorway. Just so you know, sir, he said his name was Dexter. Yuri looked up at him. At least you did something right. Now go. Jeremy left Dexter's sight. Dexter dropped his head down, not wanting to look Yuri in the eyes. So you are her son, Yuri asked him. Dexter didn't say a word. Yuri grabbed his chin and forced Dexter to look at him. Answer me, he demanded. Yes, Dexter replied. Yuri punched him across the face again. Yes, sir, he demanded of Dexter. Yes, sir, Dexter replied humbly. I've seen your file, boy. Didn't bring your dog with you this time, Yuri asked. No, sir, Dexter replied. Pretty good with knives, aren't you? Yuri asked. I guess, Dex answered. Yuri cocked his hand back, and Dexter added the sir. Yeah, snipers are sneaky little bastards. Never cared for them much myself. I'd rather stare death in the eyes when I meet it, Yuri commented. You will, sir, Dexter answered. Is that a threat, boy? Yuri asked him. Maybe, sir, Dexter said, looking up into his eyes. You are your mother's son, aren't you? Yuri asked him, punching him across the face again. You don't even know my mother, Dexter yelled back. I know your mother better than you think. TJ sent the first team out to track your family in Montana before the snow fell. Those men never came home. Yuri paused his explanation, watching Dexter smile slyly. What? I remember the uniforms. I killed those men on the trail as they were tracking us. Got a sweet shot right through one guy's radio square into his mouth as he was trying to call in his location, Dexter professed, looking Yuri dead in the eyes. Oh, you're real tough shit, huh? We'll see about that. Anyway, you little trash-talking piece of garbage, he sent 3 of his top guys to capture her in Minnesota. She killed them all and shows up here at the Capitol like a hero. It would have been easy to capture her if she was under federal probation, but the general gave her back to the Mercs. He was concerned about losing more support because of her. Then she falls off the radar. When the North was invaded, TJ sent men to the farm to bring home her son to draw her in. But the little son of a bitch evaded the men. Your mother pops up taking out the Western region's southern wall, which TJ got blamed for because if his men would have done their job, it might not have happened. A team was sent to intercept her in the West, and we finally get a stroke of luck from some refugee turncoat working for the Western FEMA director, Corinne Tillman. We were hours away from pickup and transfer, and you and Bennett show up for the grand rescue. The Supreme General was so pissed he bombed Albuquerque, but of course, Bennett got her out before then. She falls off radar again and shows up in Vegas. The Supreme General ordered the strike, but just like a cockroach that won't die, she pops up again. We were tipped off by the wife of a mayor who lost an eye to her. The Supreme General sent TJ himself with the head of the secret police commander Gray to get her. TJ took 2 more of his best men, Gerber and my brother Serge, but they got her, Yuri told Dexter. Dexter looked up at him fearfully. That's right. They killed your father and brother and sold your sister into slavery. Yuri delighted in watching the young man's horrified expression. So you see, I know a good deal more about your mother than you think, Yuri professed. I'm surprised she didn't kill them too, Dexter chided him. Gerber and my brother didn't come home, Yuri yelled, punching him across the face and then hard in the gut. Dexter heaved, falling into the hold of the chains. Nighty-night, boy, Yuri laughed at himself as he left. Dexter cried for a long time, thinking of what had befallen his family. I never should have left, he cursed himself. Well, I told you Dexter finds out some interesting stuff at the end of that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, man. I wish I could say, honestly, that I planned, like when I was writing the series, that it was all going to work out that way. But it wrote itself. It's awesome. I think it's really cool.
And you were the one with the pen in your hand, right? You
I
used a pen
know.
or a pencil.
I use a pen.
Because
It's
you're a
all-
writer and you write.
And I write. I use Word.
I will never forget that. I'm a writer. I write.
I write. That's what I do. With my hands, like with my not a keyboard.
I can't do that. I tried to write some stuff, and it drives me crazy because I always want to move stuff around, and I have to type it so I cut and paste.
Well, see, I could type it later, and I
Yeah.
do. I type it later so that you can take the words there on the page and just blow it up into the best description you can. Make people really feel it.
Oh, I see.
Right? Yeah. So I like that aspect of it, having that second chance to basically write it again without having to think about it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're the professional.
Right. Yeah. Professional BSer.
I didn't say that.
No. So, but this was really fun how this story worked out as far as, Yuri being like, we've been tracking you for so long. And now that I'm really getting geared up to write Swenson's story, it'll be fun to watch that from the other side because
I'm going to love to hate that book.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Cause it'll be all him, but
I'm going to have to buy 2 copies of the book. One so I can read and the other so I can just bash and shoot with my bow and arrow. Just
nice.
beat the heck out of it.
Airsoft target.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the part that where they sent the soldiers out to Minnesota, right?
Mhm.
Well, if you think about it, when she's in front of General Henderson in the Walls of Freedom, she accuses Matthew Tweed of the guys that are in the library that attack her in the library.
Yeah.
Right. And she accuses Matthew Tweed of having sent those guys. And the general's like, do you have evidence of that? And she doesn't. And what she doesn't know is it wasn't Tweed, it was Swenson, So that'll be really fun to weave that story when I'm writing about his character.
Oh, yeah. Because you
Mhm.
have all these little pieces and parts that you have laced into your story now.
Yep.
That you bring together and flesh out.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It'll be like working
I'm
on the
so going to be screaming at you.
Exactly. I'll be screaming at myself when I'm listening to the audio.
Yeah. You have to go for a ride with Ellen.
Right? I know. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're yelling at yourself about it. I'm like, I can't believe I write this.
That story is priceless.
He's such a dick. Yeah.
He is.
He is. Absolutely. But Yuri's right along with him. And so the other day we were talking about characters that you would have to play the characters in a TV series.
Mhm.
And Yuri was a fun one to try and think of, some MMA fighter or something like that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the topic today, which is urban tracking. And Chin, you got the reins on this one big time because I've been a busy girl.
This was crazy. This is oh my goodness. All those James Bond movies you used to watch as kids, they're all this stuff feels like it's coming to true.
Yeah, that it's really in action now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Hunter show was really crazy where they sent the people out, and it was really interesting to see the different methodologies that they used for tracking people.
Yeah, that is all the everybody know, your cell phone and your banking, but it's not just your bank. Your phone records can point them to banking records, right? And
Right.
And they were saying once you become a felon, or on the run, then they have access to all their, they
To
could,
everything.
yeah. So
Right.
like they start finding out where all your banks are, and then all your ATMs are, and then they start, tracking those locations,
That's
trying
why
to get
cash is
you.
king.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why they're trying to, I mean, I didn't say that. Trying to limit the use of cash.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
notice how
cashless
everything's
society.
like, yeah, instant pay, or use your phone to pay, or
I don't do any of that. Never do
oh,
anything on my phone. They're so hackable. Yeah,
mm-mm.
I don't ever
Yeah, and
do
they keep
anything
saying
on
how like the iPhone is so, but I don't want to risk.
right?
But in the realm of this story, so your phone has GPS and all this tracking that it can do, and then it's tied to the bank, so you're paying for stuff, and all these stores have cameras, but
Right.
you're dinging your location
And
by
then they
paying
can
for it
access
with
the
your
camera.
phone, and it's like they don't even have to be good cops anymore. They just have to turn on their computer at their desk and just wait for things to start popping off.
It's so scary, huh? And the
Mhm.
license plate, like the license plate scanners that they try to get stolen cars with, they have
Yeah,
access to those as well.
I've
So
seen those on police cars.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they put them
they
up at
just
like
drive around.
intersections and things
Yep.
like that as well. And so if you go through that in the car that they're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
then they've got you there.
Right, because they start pulling up all your registration, and so they know what vehicles to start looking for.
Yeah, that is where it comes in craziness. And then I was surprised too in one of the articles they were like, don't even buy a burner phone. And I think they tried to do that once on that Hunter show, but they could like if you bought it with your ATM or something, then they could
Yeah,
track that right to you anyway.
yeah. You have to have cash. And then when you buy it, like we were saying before, every place has got cameras. So there was one, remember the one article, the lady who Teresa Payton, she was a former the White House CIO, Chief Information Officer. She said that they can run algorithms now between public records, census data. I mean, from the census,
Right?
they can predict what zip code you're going to be in with 70 to 80% accuracy.
Crazy.
Oh, come on! And
Just
and
just
when
because
was the
of
show?
zip
This
code
show was
checking.
put out. This show's got to be like 3 or 4 years old, right?
Yeah, I
So
think it is.
imagine what they can do now,
Yeah.
because
So do they really
technology
even need to put a chip in you? No.
now, it just sell you the latest and greatest iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah, and then all those apps too that use your location data
Hmm.
and all that. And you can't do anything with them if you don't give it up.
Yeah, and even like the nav apps and stuff,
Yeah, I always try to
they're
turn
all,
my locator off, but
yeah,
still, it's not like it really matters. The GPS is still working.
yeah. And
Because
then
I
all
was
the
surprised,
people,
even
like
when we
Facebook
were,
people, are like signing in on, they go places and they sign
oh,
in,
yeah,
and it just builds a whole pattern of behavior.
yeah, and they can
It's like,
study
oh yeah,
that.
every Friday happy hour they go here, and
Yep.
every Wednesday night they go grocery shopping. They go here.
That's why I turned the locator off.
Yeah,
But we were using GPS to get home when we were out in the sticks. I didn't have any cell phone, but my GPS still worked. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like you need the internet connection for them to know where you are.
Nope.
Yeah, so the phones are out the window.
Yep.
So you were really impressed with that article that involved Jack Shepard. Can a fugitive remain on the run forever? So give us a little backstory here on what that one's about.
Yeah. So that was like BBC. I found that on BBC News. So that's not even, that's England.
Right.
And so this guy that was in IT, he ran some website or something. He was out having a date, and they were out boating. An accident happened, and the date was killed right on a boating accident. And so he was being brought up on manslaughter charges. And like 3 days before the court hearing, he ditched and ran. And so they were talking about all the ways, I thought that was a good example. Modern day, it was this year, at the beginning of the year, and modern day examples of being on the run. And so I sent you that article, and then before the show we were recording, I looked up some more on this guy because it seemed kind of interesting. He was like 25 when it happened, and he actually turned himself in, but he turned himself in Georgia, the country, not the state.
Uh-huh.
Georgia. Hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, I thought that the first time we were talking about it. Yeah. I'm like, what?
But that's like, I had to look it up. I had to Google it. And that's like the other side of Turkey.
And he was in Britain when everything went down?
When it happened, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so they were talking about like the first thing they want to do is try to catch the fugitive before he leaves the area or leaves the country. And it's like, oh, guess they didn't do that.
Oh, they missed that boat there.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah. So they were talking, because he actually got out because A, he was tech savvy, and B, he snuck out on a smaller port of he didn't go out one of the major airports or something. He just kind of snuck out one of the, and think about all the illegal aliens coming into the country now. They're not coming in like
Britain
roads. They're like sneaking across, somebody's cow pasture.
Yeah, and there's a lot of coastal property there, let's face it.
Yeah.
It's an island, so crazy. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then the other thing that they were saying they were doing is they would quote unquote rattle the cages of all the people, like your friends and family. So just trying to get to, if you had any contact with them, trying to get them to slip up and let the cops know.
Right. So the one article is like, don't talk to anyone, even if it's
exactly.
Like,
yeah, because once you let the cat out of the bag, it's out of your control. So the tighter you can keep your circle of influence, the better, because once somebody knows, they know.
Yep. Yeah, and then they can
know what's going to make them crack, or
or there's all kinds of methods. Actually, they'll try and kill them with kindness.
Did you see what they did to that one couple from that? I don't know if you watched the show, but so I watched like the first show of the first season of the Hunter, which was about it was like a game show, quote unquote,
right.
where the cops, contestants, volunteered
from the cops
to
on
be
purpose
on the show. Yeah, and like when you volunteer to be on the show, you let them look at everything. So like you get like tapped in the middle of anytime, anywhere. You get tapped, and then you have like an hour to go on the run. And then after that, the cops literally can come into your apartment. They like seized everything, computers, everything. They caught the one because it was a boyfriend, girlfriend, and she had wrote on her calendar, and then they tore the top page of the calendar off, and they used the old pencil trick.
Yep, to get what was underneath it.
And they read addresses where they were going.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were going out of state, so in theory, if the cops didn't have that lead, they would have been.
The best one I saw of that was these two chicks, and they actually made it, and they were like camping and everything.
Oh yeah.
They had made it like a certain amount of days, so they went to celebrate at Taco Bell and got busted. I'm like, you idiots. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Well, that same couple with the calendar, they use their credit card at the ATM at the bus station.
Oh,
it was funny because the cops were saying, "Oh, nobody's that stupid. This is probably a decoy to lead us off the track." No, it was them.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely. That's what I would. Tech has got to go as soon as anything like that.
Yeah, you got to just the minute you got to run, you got to run.
Yep. So, what's some of the key points that we can, we'd hope that nobody ever has to be in this situation ever. This is pretty much all to go with the fictional story, right?
Right.
But what's some of the top ways that people do actually getting out You already mentioned that one before. From like a
You
smaller
have that
store.
small window to get out of the area, because once you get out of the area where they know to look, it's harder for them to find you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you don't want to go to places that you typically, it's like, don't go to the in-laws' house because that's the place you go all the time, right? So,
Yeah.
you
So
gotta
don't go and talk to those people that you know.
and a change of your appearance.
Oh, fair enough. We were doing a survival exercise where we were in a small town, and we were trying to track one person as they went into like 5 stores and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually did that trick where she like had a different hat in her bag and put her shirt on or a jacket on, and it was like a reversible, so it was a different pattern. And then she tried to walk out with a group, right? She was with the group, and I was
Yep.
like,
Yeah, because you're looking for a single person, and then
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I saw her break away. I was like, oh, dude, boom. Yeah. So okay, and then so no normal routes.
Yep.
Don't stick to your habits. Change it up.
And nowadays with all the cameras, you are so messed because there's, I mean, every house has a ring on it, at least in like urban areas, right?
Uh-huh.
And then so every store has a camera, every house has a camera, every traffic light has a camera, banks have ATMs. I mean, there's just cameras everywhere. So once they could start a timeline, once they find you at one place, they just start spreading out the web for the cameras and spread it out and spread it out, and they can just track you.
They're not cameras in the woods.
There are. How do you think we set up our trail cameras, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, but good luck for the cops trying to figure those out.
Yeah, that's interesting because now we have the Real ID going into effect, which is the facial recognition technology. So that'll make that job even easier because the computer will be able to just pick it up then. Boop, 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 boop. There it is.
Yeah, so right, and it'll make it fast because the whole thing is speed, right?
Yeah.
Because
if you have to visually look at those,
it takes a person
cameras.
longer to roll through all the the video, where if a computer's just
yep,
gotcha,
boom, analyzed, here it is, here it is, here it is. Oh gosh. And that goes along with the license plate picture taker too, because they're looking for that as well. I was thinking like you could cover it up like you had been out in the mud or something, so just like hit the back of your car with tons of mud, and then it would cover up your license plate.
Yep.
It would work.
Carry some old ones with you.
Yeah. Okay, so what about your social media and that, like abandoned shit?
Yeah. And social media, I mean, there again, it points out all your patterns, all the people that you know, right? So every place you go and shop, and because you're always like friending the stores and stuff, right? So you can get their coupons. And
yeah, for me, I have friends like all over the country, so they could be like, "Oh,
they're just trying to win your books,
there, right?" Uh-huh. I'm just like thinking about it. I'm like, "Oh, I could go." Oh no, because of all my friends, all hooked together. Yeah, crazy. All right.
Yeah, like even vehicle. I mean, so you want to get out of town by renting a car? Well, then how do you rent a car? You can't rent a car anymore without, showing ID.
Right? You can't.
No.
And like a proof of payment, like a credit card. They're gonna run your credit card immediately.
Yeah, well, yeah, they want like a deposit, right? You got to put a deposit down on a card,
Maybe
and
you can find like some backwoods car salesperson who'd take cash.
Yeah, I just went through that because I know you guys gave me a hard time because I wasn't on the show and I got dragged through the mud. But yeah, so I had to rent a car to get home, right? And yeah, it was just like that. They're like, okay, let me see your wallet. Let me see your wallet. Yeah, basically, there's
give me all your money.
But yeah, I had to show him my driver's license. I had to show him a credit card because not only to pay, but they wanted a credit card for a security deposit for damages.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, they didn't charge me at the end, but they put like a certain amount on the card,
Yep.
And, they said, well, we won't process this until after we get the car back if there's any issues.
Yep.
I mean,
it's insane. Yeah, they because we rent them a lot to go across the country when we're driving, and you definitely cannot rent one. You could pay cash for something like that. I mean, if you had enough cash on hand. It's like, what's the first thing if you know you're going on the run? First thing you do is hit an ATM and just withdraw as much as possible.
Oh yeah, because like again, back to the show. They were allowed $500 in withdrawals from the bank. Well, the first freaking thing I would have done is gone right to the closest thing to my house or wherever they tapped me to. I would have took $500 out, boom, because they know that's where I am because they tapped me to tell me I'm on the run. I would have taken, take the 500 out, boom, and I'm running. So they, and then start the where did he go?
Yeah, and then you have $500 to get yourself to the woods.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it would boil down to,
Yep.
So, okay, so how about so there are ways you can be on technology. What about some of those? You're the tech guy.
Holy smokes, yeah. So there's another rabbit hole. And we need like a pro to guide us through this one. And it would be like 2 shows, 3 shows. That whole like Tor network, like the dark web, where and then the VPN, the virtual private networks,
right?
Which so you can set up a VPN, and it's basically a tunnel, and then they can't tell when you use that. They can't tell your real IP address, and they can't tell. You can like mask your IP address, use a fake one basically, and it would show you in Italy, right, when you're really in California. So the VPN, legitimate people use it for security reasons, so your information can't get hacked.
Right, like if you're traveling in another country.
Yeah, like they all say, don't use like don't use the hotel Wi-Fi. Well, you can use the VPN, and it helps secure the connection from your computer to your destination computer. Yeah. So that's a good thing to do, but a lot of the stuff you'd have to set up. So if you're not acclimated with it and you're not set up with these different accounts, you're not going to be able to do it if you're on the run.
What are you paying for the accounts with? Your card, right?
No, I'm paying with your card.
Hey, yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, wait a minute. If you're signing up for all this stuff, and then they know that you have that, so can they track like the VPN, or it's just nothing?
I don't know. You'd probably have to find a way to pay. That's it. So like, I'm not in on the whole Bitcoin thing.
Right. Okay.
How do you set up Bitcoin accounts? Could you launder your money through a Bitcoin to actually start funding these things?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of protection over money transfer. I'll tell you that though. Because State Farm has a bank end of things. And oh my gosh, the amount of rules and regulations that you have to know to be able to handle money and, big investments like that is pretty extreme. And they're pretty darn close-knit about all that stuff. So I have no idea how people are doing it, really. I'm not getting busted for it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Which is good.
Yeah, and they're also talking about like cloud-based services. Everybody's using iCloud to store all their contacts and pictures, and
right,
because it's so easy to back up in case you lose your phone or your phone gets dropped in the pool or whatever, right? But they get a warrant and they're in on that, right?
Yeah.
And then so now they know what you look like, what your kids, what your friends, what your extended family, everybody looks like. And
yeah, that's true. I think about
make a little check marks, and I see the mental checks going off. Oh, I better not do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making my list.
Yeah.
And, so I know exactly what to do. And no, I'm kidding. No, I was thinking about all the stuff in Dropbox and that, that I have there. And I only keep like work stuff in there, but still, there's There's a fair
And
amount
they're also saying about how people link stuff to get like so you can log into your Facebook account with your Google account.
yeah.
Seen that kind
Yep.
of stuff. So once they crack one, now they're getting into everything.
Fair enough. They can just log
And it
into
just and
Facebook.
time is what catches you, right? If you're faster out of the gate, they get ahead of them, your chances are better than if they can find information quicker and put their net around you faster. Well, then you're stuck.
Yeah. And you can't get out of their area then without them knowing it.
Yep.
Ooh, this actually goes in right into something that I'm working on right now. It's called book number 8. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Can we go into the other like crazy tinfoil hat item?
Yes, let's go into it.
Oh, man. So I need a tinfoil hat for me, another one for my phone, and that whole stingray.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
The last thing I started looking at was that, and then I was like, holy smokes! So that's like a man in the middle attack kind of for
right, like a central filter. That's why I don't do banking on my phone.
Yeah. So they put up towers, whoever, and did you see the list I sent you of people that use it?
No.
The shorter list would have been who doesn't use it.
Oh, fair enough.
I think maybe the Red Cross doesn't use it, but other than that, the FBI, DAA, Secret Service, NSA, Marshals, ICE, ATF, the military, local police.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck with that. That's why.
So what they do is they put up a tower. It spoofs a cell phone tower, which how legal is that? That should be illegal. So it spoofs a cell phone tower, and then your phone says, "Oh, there's a strong signal. I'll connect to that tower instead of the real one." And then once they have all the data passing through their tower and then back out to the real one, and you don't know that it's a fake tower. And then if they can start, having eyes on the information that's going through, done.
That is crazy. And then they can just filter everything that comes through that tower.
Yep. Yeah, it all goes through. So it's probably a matter of how good their equipment is in filtering the information, right?
Right, because how much is coming through.
Yeah. Did we get Sara? Is that Sara or something? But I think they can. Your phones all have identification on it in the signal that goes out from your phone. So they probably have to. They just type in Sara or whatever your ID number is, and whenever that pings, then they start sucking up all that data.
And it would be more difficult if you had a burner phone or something like that.
Yeah, if you can get it without being like credit cards or something.
Yeah, which I don't know. I've never bought one of those, so I don't know if you can just go in and put down cash for it.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Forrest would know.
Forrest, yeah. So I did he teaches a class on this at prepper events.
Right.
And, it was amazing. But he was the one that said, you go buy a burner phone, but then the store has a camera. So then if they're looking for you and they know you frequent this area, they can just go to Target, they go to Walmart, and they just start, on these days, let's just start looking at all the footage, and boom, there you are, buying or buying something from the electronic counter.
Crazy.
And then they want to know, then they go and they say, show us all the receipts at this time. And then they find a receipt for a burner phone, and then they have the ID, and that's how they find you, even if you paid cash.
Yep. It doesn't matter.
Don't give Forrest any credit for that. I didn't learn anything from that man. No. Yeah.
And that's Forrest Garvin over at preppernet.com.
Prepper. You know what that guy does to me? So every time we show up at the same prepper event, he goes to all the authors, the book authors, and say, "Oh, you got to write Chin in so you can kill him." I'm like, what kind of friend is this? He's trying to
he told me that when I met him. He's like, "Oh, you know Chin?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been, hanging with Chin for a while." oh, you got to write him in the story and kill him off. And I'm
I
like,
don't know why I like that guy. This is like an
because he's
abusive
a
relationship.
character, for sure. For sure, and smart.
Oh, he's smart.
Yep. He's got some good info. I liked picking his brain a little bit.
Yep.
Figuring out how it ticks, although it could scare.
Yeah,
the
don't get too deep
daylight
in
out.
there.
Yeah,
You might lose your
exactly.
mind.
Exactly.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, well, you got to make it out to, the preparedness experience next year in Vegas.
I know. I was so ready to do it this year, and then finances got in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, darn finances.
Darn finances. Well, now that we have the changing Learjet, right? We got that on order.
Yeah, that's
Maybe I
definitely
can
in
book
order.
it for that week.
Yeah. If I had a jet, don't you think I'd have the TV show by now? I mean, that's where the money would go.
Honestly, I need it for a prop for the show.
Yeah, somebody start buying me lotto tickets because I don't win any.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, that was a really fun event though last year. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I know it. All my friends were there.
Yeah, we all were. And
I know.
They had a really good food truck too.
Awesome.
No, the Stop the Bleed class that Brian Duff did was
good.
phenomenal. We had a blast. Yeah. One of his instructors did the actual class, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the very last event that we did, they like flash banged the room.
Yeah, like the shoot house.
Yeah.
That would have been intense.
Yeah, and everybody's just hearts are just pounding, casualties.
Word was Dale was crying, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, he was in the corner sucking his thumb, rocking back and forth. Yeah. No, actually, it was funny because one of the rooms we went into was dark, right? And you couldn't see anything. And Brian's all up on Dale. Come on, Dale, you got to move. Come on, Dale, go, Dale, go, Dale. Dale's like freaking out. Luckily, Brock had a flashlight. All us preppers were like, oh, I left my cell phone in the car.
Brock,
Yeah, Brock's like, light. Yeah, it was cool. A lot of fun. So hopefully my buddy Skip's going to come down from Idaho next year. And I'll probably be broke as a joke, but I found out how to do it on the cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't even really need to go into Vegas.
Well, that's what how do you think I go to all these events here on the East Coast?
Exactly.
I make a lot of friends.
Yep. Do it on the cheap.
Yes, ma'am.
Right on. Well, I think that takes us through it. I've done a lot of wilderness tracking classes, and I've never been able to really do justice to the urban tracking.
Well, now we got all your listeners looking over their shoulder, paranoid. Good going,
yeah.
Sarah.
Well, I mean, look at the last few episodes besides the Ogallala. It's been like the implant, the real ID, the propaganda. This one, it's like scary.
It can all be one big show. It's all intertwined.
It is. It's like Swenson's having an effect on the shows. It's too scary for us. So we'll have to do some wild foraging or something in the future soon.
Yep. Oh, we're doing that. Oh, I can't. Should I spill the beans? Don't you have another special guest coming on board?
We do. We do have a special guest coming on.
So that'll be outdoor kind of
yes.
plant stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So another special guest coming on the show. And
try not to have any automotive issues.
Right? We have that one coming up on a Wednesday. You got to pull a late nighter before work.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Well, we better shut it down. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank everybody for subscribing and supporting the show. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it. You guys keep the bills paid so we can stay on the air, and we work pro bono, so that works out. But you want to
she tells me.
Yeah, right. So if you want to become a subscriber and help us out, head on over to www.authorSarahFhathaway.com/support. That's www.authorSarahFhathaway.com/support. All right.
We're fabulous.
That's right. Fabulous Sarah. I did a little dance with that over here. I just want you to know. All righty, guys. Till next time, remember, dream,
Survive.
thrive.
Thank you for joining Sara and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, Dark Days in Denver, and The Endless Night at www.authorSarahFHathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series and podcast, become a supporter while you're there. Then head over to iTunes or Amazon and let everyone know by leaving a review.